33 individuals set about rebuilding their lives. Well, Bob Paxman served with the SAS before founding the charity Talking2minds, which specialises in the treatment of post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD. Bob's been kind enough to come into the studio to talk to us about this. What about the fallout, Bob?
Well, certainly, over the coming months and coming years, initially you're going to have a percentage of them that suffer from episodic memories, single memories. That may become apparent with.
What does that mean?
Well, they'll relive. In a negative thought pattern, they'll relive.
They'll still be there in a sense.
Yeah, they'll still be there, and that may manifest itself in nightmares and flashbacks. Anger, aggression. There's many different symptoms with post-traumatic stress disorder, and in the long term, anything up to about 14, 15 years, people can then start to develop severe stress-related conditions around what's actually happened. So it's a long-term thing.
Yeah, and how do you deal with it then?
Well, certainly we've taken a completely different approach because the existing forms of therapy are trauma-focused, CBT, EMDR, psychotherapy and counselling. And what we've done is we've taken everything that's not the trauma. So if you, instead of focusing on the problem, we're looking at everything that's not the problem. So we're looking for the root cause of the problem and then reframing that, and all the symptomology drops away. So
kind of accentuate the positive.
Basically.
Did you have it?
Yeah, I was diagnosed with PTSD about 7 years ago, and I was told that basically to shut up and take the drugs. Well, that's not acceptable in my model of the world.
How many people throughout history have had this and not known about it, or just suffered in silence or not silence, as the case may be? You think about the Great War, you think about the Second World War.
Oh, yeah.
Now at least we have a modern psychological approach, don't we?
Well, there's certainly a medical clinical approach which is trauma-focused. And since Roman times, first documented, Carthaginian Roman times, people with nightmares and flashbacks.
Yeah.
Even Winston Churchill, he had his black dog, which he called his symptomology of PTSD, which would follow him around. And
he was bipolar, wasn't he?
Well, the symptomology of bipolar and PTSD is very, very similar.
Right.
Well, we've mentioned big events like the World Wars and what have you, but it doesn't have to be events on that scale that cause it, does it? It can be personal events, smaller events.
It could be a car accident, it could be an assault, it could be a whole multitude of different things.
I bet there's lots of people out there who have it and maybe just they don't realise that it can be, diagnosed in this way,
Yeah, and possibly they've even had an incorrect diagnosis.
Bob, thank you very much.
Thank you, yeah.
It's 10 minutes past 8. Let's talk.